in their classrooms to protect themselves. Some Triad high schoolers also on campus for a tour.
We do know that one person was shot, but details are limited right now. Authorities are going to be starting a press conference momentarily. We will bring it to you live when it begins.
As we wait for that press conference to begin, we have team coverage in Forsyth County. Amber Lake talked with scared students forced to lock down. Hannah Jeffries was there as parents reunited with their kids.
We begin with WFMY News 2's Ben Briscoe with this latest on this investigation.
Any moment now in the news conference, here are some of the big questions that we are hoping to get answers to. The first, who was this person that got shot? How did it happen? Were they a student? We have heard from some witnesses today that it was perhaps someone who accidentally shot themselves in the hand. That has not been confirmed by police. We are hoping to get an update and see if that is the case tonight. Also, when this alert first went out around 10 o'clock this morning, the school had said that they were looking for 2 possible suspects in this case. Investigators have not said why they suspected those 2 people or if they ever found them. That's another question that we're hoping to get answers to right now. What we do know beyond a shadow of a doubt is that today the school and law enforcement jumped into action as soon as possible at 10 o'clock. As soon as they got the report of a shooting on campus, there was a lockdown. No one was allowed to leave or enter campus. Everyone had to shelter in place. Students were protected. We saw police at every entrance around the campus blocking it off, helping parents figure out where they could go to wait for their students. We talked with students who were inside that said, you know what, we were scared, but we knew that it was safe because they quickly got word to us that this was not an active shooter investigation, but an active investigation of a shooting on campus. However, that said, it was a several-hour wait out here for students today while they were inside those classrooms. A trauma-filled day, one that needs more answers. Hopefully we'll get them any moment now.
Ben, thank you for that update. Let's continue our team coverage with Amber Lake. Amber, you met with parents this morning who drove to campus as soon as they got that alert this morning.
Right, Lauren, and thankfully the students that we talked to today, as well as the parents, they've all been reunited with their loved ones, which is great news after a day that they have had today. Now, parents who had no clue what was happening gathered here at the National Guard Armory, which is just a couple blocks away, for hours today, waiting for their child to be released from shelter in place. Kathy Maggi and Patricia Bandy got text messages from their daughters saying there was an active shooter on campus. Immediately, panic set in.
Actually, I've been at home sick, and my phone vibrating repeatedly woke me up, and it was a text from my daughter telling me that she loved me and telling me that there was an active shooter on the campus.
It's very overwhelming. I live in Kernersville, and I got here pretty quickly, but it's just, as a mother, I mean, it's heart-wrenching, and this is my worst nightmare. I mean, after what happened in Tennessee and all the other schools, it's hard to make heads of it right now.
And sadly, guys, that was the mindset of many parents out here today. They just wanted their child safe, and they just wanted to go home. Guys.
Thankfully, parents were able to reunite with their children. Thank you so much, Amber. During the lockdown at Forsyth Tech, several students on campus were posting about what was happening inside.
Good afternoon. I'm Carolyn McMacken. I'm the Chief of Police here at Forsyth Tech Community College. At 10:10 a.m., we received a report from one of our officers who was in the Strickland Center regarding shots fired in the second floor restroom of the Strickland Center. Based on preliminary information provided to the officer, additional Forsyth Tech police officers immediately responded. The Winston-Salem Police Department officers were also in the area when the shooting occurred and arrived at the Strickland Center in less than a minute. One male victim was located near the restroom of the Strickland Center with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. The victim received medical aid on scene and was then transported by ambulance to a local hospital for treatment. I recognize this was a scary situation for all of us. As a chief of police, this is the call that we never want to receive. I would like to thank my team for their quick, decisive actions. I'm so grateful for the partnerships of the Winston-Salem Police Department, Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, Stokes County Schools, Winston-Salem Forsyth County Office of Emergency Management, Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, Forsyth County EMS, Forsyth County Probation and Parole, the ATF, North Carolina Alcohol Law Enforcement, and Highway Patrol. I would also like to thank any other agencies that may have responded or offered their assistance. The rapid response from all our partners allowed us to ensure the safety of the Forsyth Tech community. I would now like to introduce Forsyth Technical Community College President, Dr. Janet Spriggs.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you to your officers and all the members of law enforcement who responded so quickly to ensure the safety of everyone on our campus. As Chief outlined, as soon as we learned of shots being fired at the Strickland Center shortly after 10 a.m., we immediately implemented our emergency protocols, including locking down buildings and issuing a shelter-in-place order. We activated our emergency response command center, maintained an open hotline with our on-site campus police, and communicated directly with law enforcement and Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools and Stokes County Schools officials throughout the day. Today we had our annual Focus event on our main campus for high school seniors. We had more than 600 high school students from across Forsyth and Stokes County service area with us today. The students went to their home high school this morning and then were bused to Forsyth Tech to attend this event. I appreciate the partnership with Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools and Stokes County Schools as we navigated this difficult situation together today. On behalf of the entire Forsyth Tech community, I want to thank the first responders, including the Forsyth Tech Police, Winston-Salem Police Department, Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, Forsyth County Office of Emergency Management, and all other responding agencies. We are tremendously grateful to them for responding so rapidly and professionally as they helped us to ensure the safety of everyone on campus while also conducting an investigation into a report of an active shooting. Before I turn things over to Superintendent Tricia McManus, I'd like to speak personally to our Forsyth Tech trailblazing family. Today was a very difficult day, but as always, we came together, followed the plans we had practiced, and took care of each other in true trailblazer fashion. I realize that it will take us time to process what happened on campus today and get back to normal. All of our campuses will remain closed through the rest of this week. We will provide an email with information from me about resources available to anyone who needs support. Thank you again to all of you. I know there were so many trailblazers who made a difference today. From my heart to yours, thank you. Now I'll turn it over to Superintendent Tricia McManus.
Thank you, Dr. Spriggs. So today we had, as Dr. Spriggs stated, close to 600 students attend for an event called Focus, which is really exposing our students to possibilities after high school, both college and career possibilities. We also have about 400 students who actually attend early and middle college, and they're on Forsyth Tech campus every single day. And so I also want to give thanks today to the campus police of Forsyth Tech, to the administrative team and staff of Forsyth Tech, and also to Winston-Salem Police Department and all of the law enforcement partners that responded. They acted swiftly, they communicated with us regularly, and we knew that our students were safe, and that was very important. We communicated that to our families early, and it was because of their efforts we were able to do that. I also want to thank our students and staff. Our students responded in just a very calm way. They did everything they were asked to do, and I appreciate that so much. And the staff that was there to keep them calm and keep them safe. Also, all the staff that helped our students return safely to their campuses. It was definitely a team effort, and our students returned safely. We were able to communicate that to our families as well. We begin our spring break tomorrow. Students are home tomorrow and all of next week. And so I do want to make sure that as our students return, that any student that may face anxiety, that will experience anxiety and trauma because of the events today, because it is extremely traumatic, that they are able to see a counselor the minute they return to our schools. We will have our counselors and our social workers available to help them. So again, thank you to everyone who was involved in ensuring the safety of our students. And now, sorry, my introducing Chief Lovejoy. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for being here. I spoke to you briefly earlier, a couple hours ago, but I want to be able to provide you a little bit additional information from that briefing and to add on to what you've heard here this evening. Today, March 30th, the Winston-Salem Police Department around 10:10 a.m. received a call for service for assistance to the Forsyth Technical Community College campus police in reference to a student that had been shot on campus. Officers were in close proximity, as you heard earlier, responded very swiftly to be able to assist campus police in ensuring the safety of those students here on this campus and in the community itself. One student was identified as sustaining a single gunshot wound and was transported to a local medical facility for treatment for that injury. That injury was non-life-threatening. In the meantime, students, campus police, along with the Winston-Salem Police Department and many other law enforcement agencies that responded to assist, began to ensure the safety for the students on campus and to attempt to identify any additional victims. There were no other victims identified on campus, and the students that attended the event today were returned back to their home school. The injured student has been identified as 18-year-old Winston-Salem Preparatory Academy student Shannon Howard James Pitts of Winston-Salem. The preliminary investigation has revealed that Mr. Pitts was in possession of a firearm on campus, which resulted in what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the hand. Appropriate charges are being evaluated and will be sought. We'd like to thank the Winston-Salem Police Department, would like to thank our law enforcement partners for their quick response to an extremely large population of students on this campus to ensure their safety, and that would include not only state, local, but other Forsyth County law enforcement partners. So that would be all I would add at this point. Would you, if there are questions, I'll take some questions. Just keep in mind that this is still an open and active investigation, but I'll be more than happy to answer what I can for you.
Can you tell us where the information came from about the two dangerous suspects that went out in the alert? The clinicians, two men, gray and black, and that's the alert that went out.
So the alert came from Forsyth Tech Community College, so that would be a better question for them. I got that text much like students did, along with others in the community, so I can't speak to where that came from. Yeah.
That was the information we had based on the preliminary information the officer received at the scene.
And again, so there was a campus police officer in that building where the shooting happened?
Not in the building at the time, but it was directly outside the building. We were, there for the event, so we were in close proximity. So.
Did he hear the gunshot, or did the students alert to him as it happened in the bathroom? So I'm sure did the students come out and get him, or just want to paint a picture of how?
So along with the call details that came into the Winston-Salem Police Department, there were multiple callers hearing what they appeared to be gunshots and also asking for assistance. So there were multiple, it was not one caller, it was multiple callers.
Is the student still in the hospital?
I don't have that information at this time. I believe he is still being treated at this time.
And just to confirm, it was just one shot?
That's correct.
Okay.
The preliminary investigation reveals at this point that it appears to be self-inflicted. I would venture out to say that it's a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and we're still trying to determine whether it was intentional or accidental.
Were the 600 students, were they in the Strickland Center when this was going on? And you say he was from Winston-Salem Prep. Was he there as part of some kind of school activity that he was involved in?
That is,
Can you explain sort of how that works? Just
And was he part of Focus, or was he here for like college campus classes?
Yes. So our student was part of the Focus program. So he was transported from the school as part of this event.
So the student goes to the high school first, and then they're
Yes, yes. It was Winston-Salem Prep. No, I don't know of any connection to any. Mm-hmm.
But when you are in a situation like that, where you have hearing reports of an active
Yeah.
shooter, how can you speak to how it impacted kids?
So due to the what's happening nationwide, I guarantee when you hear there's an active shooter, it impacts our children, and it probably will, which is why I think it is so important that they see a counselor if they're having anxiety, talk to their parents, talk to other adults, and when they return on the 11th, we will have teams at each of the schools. We had 10 schools with students that came today, that they see a counselor or social worker for help.
Thank you all so much. That concludes our press conference. Thank you. Thank you. If you have
any information, we still encourage people who have, if they need additional information, to please report it to the WSPD 9 emergency line. We are still always accepting additional information or additional tips. That number is 336-773-7700. Thank you.
You have just listened to a press conference from school leaders as well as law enforcement about that school, I should say, the shooting investigation at Forsyth Technical Community College's main campus this morning. We know it was an 18-year-old Winston-Salem prep student who was shot this morning. That person's name is Shannon Pitts. Authorities are saying that was a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the hand. We know that it was just one gunshot wound, and that student is being treated at a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We also learned that that shooting happened in the Strickland Center, that again is on the main campus, on the second floor bathroom.
We also are learning that this was a male student as well, and officials say they were able to get to the scene within less than a minute in order to investigate that situation. And again, still working to find out if it was self-inflicted or an accident. I mean, self-inflicted, if it was accident or intentional.
And I do want to add that this student was one of the 600 students that was on a field trip to Forsyth Tech today. And keep this in mind too, that Forsyth Tech campuses, there are several of them, they will be closed for the rest of the week. We will stay on top of the story. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Tim Buckley here with you to give you an update on the weather as we go through the next couple of days. Today was beautiful, wasn't it? We had a cold morning, a nice afternoon, all blue sky all the time. The official high coming down as 65 for this afternoon after a morning low of 38 degrees. Now for tomorrow, it will not be as cold in the morning. We're only in the upper 40s. The afternoon will be a little warmer in the mid 60s, but one thing you might find along with gusty winds would be some scattered showers, just a couple from the late afternoon into Friday evening. So if you have plans, that is something to keep in mind for the end of your Friday. For tomorrow, there'll be a major threat of severe weather across the middle of the country from Illinois down to Mississippi. And then by Saturday, we'll watch in the Carolinas as a line of showers and storms starts to move our way. It's part of this system here that's moving across the country. A pretty strong cold front. So as we get a little bit closer to Saturday, we're going to watch that line of showers showers moving across Tennessee and then especially into North Carolina. So here's the timing. This is around 5 a.m. on Saturday. Notice it's mostly between about 8 a.m. to noon that we have the rain concern. But high winds are going to be an issue on Saturday pretty much all day, and we haven't mentioned that enough just yet in your forecast. There's the timing on the rain. Like I said, 8 in the morning through about 1 in the afternoon. Then it is over. There could be some thunder in that, but the winds, they're a concern. Take a look. This is early Saturday morning. 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts are possible. And then by Saturday afternoon, we'll continue to see gusts as high as 40 to 45. That could create a few power outage issues, so keep that in mind for your Saturday. Sunday is much calmer. We'll have sunshine and highs in the 60s. Monday is fine as well. And next week is looking like spring. Highs will be in the mid 70s to close to 80 degrees with low chances for rain. That's your 7-day.
Hi, I am here. Can you hear my mic? I should be good to go. Can you hear? Yay, can you see me?
They already have. Let me text him and say.
I just asked Forsyth County. Did y'all listen?
Yeah.
I just asked them if he said they don't have body scanners, they have metal detectors, and they're used randomly. And I said I'm going to make an assumption that they were not being used today. That is a fair assumption.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. I'm here to do a head nod. I'm sorry that I'm not over there.
This is Hannah. This is not Amber. This is Hannah.
Amber's not live. If they did last year, they got anything.
Yes, that presser just wrapped up, and I'm extremely thankful that they're going to have resources for.
There, got it. Okay, that's the next.